we know now from the quantum physics that the universe is a quantum field. It's a quantum organism. It is, of course, alive and present right now, right here. And we are all in it. We are all part of it. We are all tiny cells in the whole quantum field of the whole universe. So for some reason, humanity has a bit too much focus on themselves, and particularly, especially on the I, myself identity. And having too much focus on the I, myself identity creates a certain isolation. Therefore, it is known that focusing on others or giving service to others, it allows one to expand their own identity and shift your own focus into a larger field, of awareness. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that there is consciousness and there is the field. Yeah, so this field has different components, such as your personal field, or you call it usually your personal space. And then there is what I call your extended field or your extended space, in which you have much less control, because that includes your environment, other people, and so on. So the field, which is actually just one field, includes your personal space and the extended space. And of course, it feels very different for you, and there are various degrees of ability to experience and control these different fields. However, in reality, there is just one field, and that is the present moment. It is the present moment and the present moment experience. And today's topic is relaxing the mind into this boundless quantum field and into the boundless awareness. Boundless means that it has no apparent limitation. It has no apparent walls, we can say, and it feels open. So in reality, we can observe even right now that actually everything is open. Yeah, there is no apparent wall, we can say, between the air and your body, and these walls and the room and the house and the earth and the solar system and the galaxy. These are different objects only, but it's all in one place. It's all in one universe. Everything is immediately present. Everything is immediately here. So any boundary or limitation would be perceived through your own senses only, because in actuality it is all one. So For some reason, there is a certain belief that one is separate from environment, and for some reason there is a certain feeling of particularly myself and not environment as a whole. So the origin of that feeling and idea, or it's called the I thought, the origin is a certain energetic twist, we can say, which creates a certain closure of this. If we untwist it, it's a natural openness. If we twist it, then things immediately are narrowed. If we untwist it, it's all open. Yeah, so this twist, so to speak, is actually a certain genetic malfunction, we can say, and that is traceable to a particular location in the body, which is the heart on the right. Yeah, it's about 2 inches to the right side from the middle of the chest, the heart on the right, and that's where actually, if we truly relax our focus deeply, we will trace that there is a certain twist, and in occasions of meditation, you may feel this openness. So the goal is to relax the mind. The mind has a tendency to be focused on objects, to be involved with the limitations. The mind has a tendency to be involved with limitations, to be involved with objects, and to only perceive that which is limited, to notice that which is limited, and somehow not notice the openness, somehow not notice the space or the air. Reason being because the space and the air has no objective quality as such. So within your 5 senses, it is ignored. Because the space is actually present. There is a space between me and you, there's a space around you, there's a space everywhere. And of course, there is air everywhere too, which you're breathing naturally. But the mind has a tendency to skip that part and focus only on that which is, we may say, tangible or graspable or visible or sensible. This is why it is known that humanity is ignoring the largest part of the universe, which is beyond the 5 crude senses. And the 5 senses have various degrees of crudification, or we can say rustiness. Yeah, and the more the 5 senses are rusted, the more things are cramped up. So the goal is to clear the senses, to purify the senses, to relax the mind, to allow the mind to start withdrawing from the crude objects into more lighter objects, into more lighter forms, and even lighter substances, and even lighter subtleness. and even the lightest thing that ever there is, your own awareness. So you may already start noticing that your focus may be placed on something more fixed and something more tangible. And my invitation is to start relaxing, start withdrawing your focus, at first to recognize that it has a tendency to be fixed. It has a tendency to be placed on something more substantial, something more graspable. And therefore, firstly, noticing that your attention is placed on something more fixed, and then slowly relaxing your attention from the fixture is already creating more openness, is already allowing you to expand your awareness. So what happens actually, that in reality, there is a boundless awareness, that all of you are already aware, that all of us are in a one quantum field, in the one universe. Nothing is separate within the universe from the universe. So you cannot be separate from environment, from the earth, from the galaxy, from the whole universe itself. Since everything is made of the same thing, of energy. So that is a fact, that is the reality. And then it comes to our experience, our individual experience. And that's where there are many differences. You know, in reality, there is only one awareness, one universe. And even though we seem to have different bodies and personalities and so on, but actually it's just one thing. Yeah, it's just one universe playing itself out and experiencing the multiplicity within the one. So relaxing into that experience, into the one experience is very liberating. It's very freeing. However, the issue, of course, is that everyone has a different experience depending on your attachment, interaction, entanglement with the various degrees of the solidity, of the crudity, or we can say, with something which is more crude and tangible, so your focus is placed there. Yeah, so there are many, many subtle layers. Just like, you know, if somebody is used to eating heavy foods, let's say meat and so on, and suddenly it's not available, one has to eat vegetables, and they will feel that they're not eating anything. There's nothing graspable in their stomach. They can't. They will say, I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything. So because their body is used to something more crude, so they have this feeling of sudden lightness, and it's not satisfying the denser, familiar senses. You understand that your senses, your focus, your mind has a familiarity with that which is more dense. And if you suddenly withdraw from the denseness, if you're not ready for it, you will feel too light, too ungrounded, and you might not feel comfortable with that big openness. So some people are, you know, okay with the sudden lightness, with the sudden openness, and some people need to hold on to something more tangible, step by step by step. So that is called attachment. So in the Buddhist tradition, it is known that there are three root issues. So one is ignorance, which is assuming something to be real while it's not, or something to work in a way which is not the reality itself. So, so for example, assuming to be separate while in reality you are not. Yeah, and that's the ignorance of the mind. And the second one is attachment. And it works on so many different layers, more and more subtler dimensions, because of familiarity of something more crude. And then there is something lighter and more subtler and less tangible. So there are various degrees of lightness, we can say, and this need for something tangible, graspable, to hold on to something is attachment. It can also be, material possessions. It can be certain people in your life that you may feel very attached to. So it can be literally anything. It can be your favorite spiritual teaching, it can be a favorite idea, a favorite philosophy, your favorite way of seeing things. So attachments are at so many levels and degrees. And the third key root issue is desire. Desire, in terms of the unhealthy desire, there are two types of desires. One which is a natural expression to grow. So the universe is actually creating as an active force. So the active force naturally desires to expand and grow and evolve. So that part is a natural desire, is to make your life better, to feel happier. And the highest desire that you may have is desire for freedom, is desire for liberation. So that type of desire, it's okay because it's natural. But the other type of desire it has the unhealthy side of addiction and wanting more and more and more and never feeling satisfied. So that's where various addictions come, and of course that would be alcohol and smoking and drugs and all sorts of other known desires that humanity is experiencing. This desire is also functioning and creating suffering, essentially. Yeah, the unhealthy desires will always create suffering, and the healthy, we may say creative, expanding expression of the universal force will simply enable you and allow you to grow more, because you are in alignment with the creative force of the universe. So that is totally fine. So these are the three root issues, so to speak. And now let's explore just a little bit before we do a practice. How do we relax? First, we relax by noticing that we are not relaxed. Yes? First, we relax by noticing that something is fixed. Our attention is fixed onto something more crude, onto something more tangible. And the way to relax your mind is to start relaxing your focus, to start relaxing your attention. Yeah, because your attention might be placed upon your thoughts, your attention might be placed upon your feelings or emotions or bodily sensations. That would be already the internal focus. Yeah, we're not speaking about external, because that is already much lower, we can say, vibration, but we're speaking about the internal focus. So that's actually called generally spirituality, the internal focus. The external focus is called materialism. But do we need to divide, outer and inner? Is it not one actually? Is it not the same process that you're focused outside or inside? Yeah, so actually you need to relax from both, even from spirituality. So withdrawing your focus away from the thoughts. And of course, you will notice a certain addiction or a certain force holding you. Yeah, so that's how we notice that actually we are more fixed. So there's a certain force or certain tension. So when people speak about stress, tension, or strain, it is their fixtures, their fixed focus and attention upon something in particular that has been given too much attention and focus unnecessarily, that creates the tension, stress, and strain. So noticing that there is a tension, stress, and strain because of a certain fixture of your focus and attention is a step number one. Step number two is recognizing that there is certainly a way to feel more relaxed, to feel more at peace, and to feel more calm, and to start going, withdrawing yourself, withdrawing into more peace, withdrawing your focus into more calmness, into more stillness, into the background. Yeah, into the background, or we can say going behind a certain object or thought or a mental stream. And the key, how do we relax? Is by relaxing our focus, our attention. Your focus and attention is in your third eye, in your center of your forehead. So relaxing your mind's eye, third eye, or simply your forehead, right in the center, and allowing it to fall back away from whatever it is fixed upon. Many times I give an example of imagining that your focus is like a little wave in the lake. It has a certain shape, it has a certain form, and an apparent limitation, because a wave has an apparent form and thus limitation. And you can relax your focus like the wave. You can make it a bit more fluid, less fixed, more fluid. You can make your focus more fluid. You can allow your focus to notice a bit more space around, in front, at the back, on each of the sides, to become more fluid and to start slowly settling into the lake, into the stillness of the lake, or that clearness of the lake. And the same way in the example of the lake is that when there is wind, when the water is disturbed, it brings up stuff from the bottom. Yeah, so the water is not clear, the mind is not clear. But as you start relaxing your focus, things start to get processed, and you start to receive more or have more clarity. And therefore, as everything settles down, the fixture of the focus starts to relax, and it relaxes into a flat, open, into the flat openness, we can say, or into the open boundlessness. And the clarity naturally shines. There is a natural shining clarity. Just like when the wind settles down, when the waves settle down on the lake becomes still, and all the mud which has been stirred up settles down to the bottom, and then you can see clearly through the water into the bottom of the lake. So when your focus, attention settles down, it falls back into the stillness, into the peacefulness, openness, clarity arises. Clarity arises. It is a natural quality inherent within all of you. So the clarity arises, and also the goal is not to excite the mind, because as soon as you have a bit more clarity, there might be some thoughts popping in. There might be some creative thought or idea pops into your head, and then, oh, that's very interesting, and you grab your attention and you follow this creative thought and you forget about meditation. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we don't want to excite the mind, because excitement is like wind for the lake. Excitement for the mind is like a wind for the lake. It stirs up the mind, just like the water becomes stirred up, the mud comes up in the lake, the waves arise, and then there is an apparent disturbance in the lake. So as you're relaxing your focus, as you're naturally meditating, you should relax from excitement. And the other side of excitement is boredom. Yeah, you may start to feel boring, but boredom is also a certain mental quality, because it is ignoring the peacefulness. Yeah, so excitement and boredom are two sides of the mind, and one is very active, excitement, and the other quality is very stale, like sort of starting to get frozen into something, into boredom, and it lacks peacefulness, and boredom lacks a deeper relaxation, because boredom is a side effect of the lack of excitement. Actually, it's just one energy, excitement and boredom, in various degrees, and you want to go beyond both. Neither excited nor bored. You want to continue relaxing your focus and falling deeper into the openness of your own awareness, which is present already here. First, you arrive at peacefulness, stillness, but not to fall into sleep or boredom. or into some sort of space, it is to recognize that even in that peacefulness, stillness, there is your natural awareness, which is aware of the peacefulness and stillness within. So you need to have an intention to train your focus, to train your attention to relax, to withdraw. In the society and education and your work, you have been trained to have a fixed focus. You know, everything has trained you to be fixed and interactive with the especially analytical thinking mind and objective mind and external or internal objects. But now you need to unlearn that so that you can retrain yourself to relax into the infinite openness, freedom, happiness, natural joy and bliss. Yeah, so that's a different training, or retraining your attention and focus. So when you are ready, you can close your eyes and take a few moments to slow down. And a few moments to feel your breath, which is always naturally present and here. And as you feel your breath, you can notice your focus, your forehead, and we can start the training of relaxing your focus into something more peaceful, more open, by gently withdrawing your focus away from interacting with either arising thoughts or particular feeling, particular emotion, or particular present energy, or particular present sensation. So withdrawing your focus away from any particular sensation, whether in the mind or as a feeling or as energy, sensation, or even bodily sensation. And at the same time as we are withdrawing our focus from something, from a certain fixture or something in particular, we can start to familiarize and notice something more subtler, such as the present space, the present peace. So withdrawing from a certain fixture or particularity into something more general, more subtler. You cannot try to even withdraw into your present awareness. Giving some time for yourself to withdraw and then at the same time to familiarize with something more general, which is in the background and subtler, without excitement as well, just as a way of a neutral familiarization. So you're withdrawing yourself away from the mind, away from any particularity, away from any fixture. If you start to experience unknownness, allow yourself to experience unknownness. It has a certain freedom from knowing. It has a certain relief. If you start to experience your present beingness or a deeper sense of I am, you can further relax that feeling of beingness or I am into even less tangible space, into even subtler openness. and into present effortless awareness. There is no effort to feel, to experience awareness. It is present already. And the effort is to relax the mind, the focus. That's the training of withdrawal, relaxation, and then familiarization at the same time with something more subtler, lighter, open, already present, such as the present space, present peace, present awareness itself. I am already aware. There is no effort for that. The effort is to relax, withdraw. We can say to reopen into the openness, to reopen into the present lightness. You may notice certain arising processes within you, and once again allow them only as much as needed so that you can further relax and withdraw. Whatever is arising within you, allow it only as much so that you can further relax and withdraw afterwards. If you experience any strain or a tension, whether it's a mental strain or psychological strain, emotional or bodily strain, just allow it for a little while, feeling more space around and withdrawing away from that strain or tension. So your attention is liberating itself into the peace. It is ascending as a white bird. It is relaxing. Easing off. Relieving becoming lighter, becoming easier. And it's a new training. At the same time, acknowledging that everything is okay, and that when you're training, having certain challenges is okay. Having certain difficulties is okay. And the goal is to relax, is not to become more stressed. So always knowing that it's okay, and it's good to do this training throughout the day, intuitively, so that you align with the moments when the mind is more receptive for training. And you will always, step by step, experience a deeper relaxation and openness and lightness. You can measure your progress by how much lighter you become, how much more naturally relaxed you become, and how previous tensions are no longer affecting you. And also how awareness is becoming more and more natural in your experience. Whatever you are experiencing, you can always know that it's just an experience. You can always change it internally, how you feel, by relaxing, withdrawing, surrendering, letting go, forgiving. With love and compassion, you release, you become relieved, you heal and process into a deeper relaxation, and more closer and present awareness. So whatever you may experience, you can always know that you can relax into the background of experience. In the background of experience, there is always more space, and there is always a present awareness as your real home, as your real being, even more close and direct than the feeling of being or the feeling of presence. Awareness is closer, lighter, more direct than any feeling, than any energy. Than any vibration, than any frequency, than any substance, than any particularity or any quality or any view or perception. Awareness is closer, lighter, and more direct than anything manifested or unmanifested. Known or unknown. This is how beautiful, great, and powerful, at the same time relaxing and present is your own present awareness. Because any experience has a certain energy or space to it. Just like on a white canvas or movie screen, anything can be projected or painted, but the movie screen is untouched. or the white canvas is always white. It's just that the paint is applied on top of it. But its intrinsic nature is white. Its original state is white. So the same way your original state is being aware. It is pure. It is beyond qualities, beyond views and perceptions, any particularities or fixations. Your present awareness is your natural self. Sometimes called the absolute self or consciousness or many other names, but they all mean or direct into your own present awareness. When awareness becomes or when your experience becomes boundless, open as awareness, that is called the pure consciousness, the pure awareness. If your awareness is still affected, we can say, by your experience, or your awareness is limited by your experience, then there is a certain work to do, certain more training to be done, more relaxation to be done to relax further into your present radiant awareness itself. So the real meaning of enlightenment is returning to this natural awareness. It is not only disidentifying or opening up energetically, but as an evident realization that you are essentially the present awareness beyond any experience. That is the real meaning of consciousness, enlightenment, self-realization. And there are various degrees of relaxation. Yeah, we can say the degrees of relaxation, the degrees of clarity of your essence. Not only relaxing into open relaxation. But recognizing your obvious, present, radiant awareness. Your obvious present awakeness. Or your present obvious conscious awakeness, conscious being, beyond experience, beyond any qualities. It is not only awakeness from the sleep or dream or meditation, it is awakeness from experience, from any feeling, any sensation. So it is when the awareness recognizes itself that that is my ultimate nature, that is my real essence and nature, and the experience is transcended. The dualities of experience are transcended, and your own nature and essence becomes apparent and obvious and evident as awareness. And it is obvious that the focus, attention, has a certain fixation, limitation, that something was unnecessary. And there is a much lighter and brighter, effortless awakeness present here, which is your own awareness. So as the mind gradually releases the density, at the same time withdrawing from a density, at the same time it is necessary to recognize what is your essence. Not only withdrawing from what is not your essence, but also arriving, recognizing, realizing what is your essence as awareness itself. So that is the statement, I am that. So when you're ready, you can slowly start coming back from the practice.